I've looked worse. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm actually at the end of the 3rd trimester. I'm at the end of the pregnancy. I can't believe it. I'm exhausted, man. I'm so ready for this to be done. I've got to keep the window open, so if you hear cars going past, I'm sorry. This trimester has been interesting. It's been nowhere near as bad as the 1st trimester, but nowhere near as good as the 2nd either. So I've lost count of how many times I've been in triage to get monitored and checked over because of pain and everything. I've had Braxton Hicks contractions continuously ever since I started the 3rd trimester. Reduced fetal movements, which I knew was coming because I had it with M-Pair. I've also had to have another GTT test done. But now I'm literally days away from going in for my section, and I can't express how happy I am about that. I don't do well with pregnancies, never have, probably never will. Everyone I've had's got worse. Bloody scary, man. I've decided that this is my last one. I'm being sterilised with this section, so no accidents can happen. Well, unless it fails. They did tell me there's a 1 in 200 chance of it failing, so I'm bloody hoping it don't. So let's go through what's been happening over the last couple of months, shall we? Had some good news today. Went for my next growth scan and she's actually grown. So she's above, well, just above the 10th centile now, which is really good. We don't have to worry about anything to do with her growing, like with the blood supply or anything like that, because everything's fine. I've started washing stuff and putting stuff where they've got to go. I've got my first physio appointment today as well. So everything's coming together and everything's actually going well at the minute. Fingers crossed nothing else goes wrong now. I have got to have another GTT though. There was a bit of glucose in my urine, so I need to go and have another diabetes check. But I don't care, because she's okay. Got some really scary pictures. Although I had literally no sleep last night, I'm actually in a really good mood now. Everything's all good. And this little lady will be making an appearance in not too long. I'm 30 weeks and 2 days today, so it'll be less than 9 weeks then she's here now. That's mental. Just had my first physio appointment. I am so glad that I have finally had that done because I'm already feeling better. There's a few things that they've told me to do and to practice with like exercises and stuff. They've given me 2 different types of support bands to try. They've shown me the proper way to get in and out of bed. They've given me tips on what to do to kind of ease the pain, and she's also told me to have a heat massage to my, like the back of my hips and my bum every day. I'm gonna have to try and convince Nathan to do that for me. I'm just waiting for him to come pick me up. I'm at my 2nd GTT and I don't feel good. I don't feel good at all. They've let me come in this room so I can have a lie down. 7 weeks left. I'm so ready for it to be done now. Come on out.
I just threw a kick. I felt her lump right by my neck.
Mhm.
Is that her kicking?
Yeah.
I felt her kick on my neck. I felt it. That was on my actual head. Can't believe I get to feel it. She just kicked me again. That's so cool.
Her bum's like right here. If you push in, you can feel the lump.
Oh, you really can. Where's her head then?
Down here, like right down low.
Oh, right, my boob.
Yeah.
Baby Willow. Oh, I'm so happy we can have another sister. Willow, my name's Riley. Our new big brother, Willow.
Oh, she's moving. Ah, Oh, she's kicking the other side.
This side.
No, look, right round here.
I felt that.
Did you?
I felt her on my hand. She just kicked my hands. I'm so happy that I get to feel her kicking me.
A quick update. Yesterday I went to the day assessment unit to get monitored because I had quite significantly reduced movements from her. But when they were actually monitoring me, she was moving around constantly, but I just couldn't feel it, which is a bit weird. They couldn't understand why I couldn't feel it. The only thing they could think of was the position that she's in. After being monitored yesterday morning, they asked me to come back in to triage last night at 7 o'clock to get monitored again. But then at exactly 17:17, I started having contractions again. They were around 20 to 30 minutes apart. They only went on for a few hours though. So I told them when I got there that I started having the contractions as well. I was on the monitor for nearly an hour, I think. And I think I felt like 1 or 2 movements, I can't remember. Once they finished monitoring me, they asked me if I could stay to be monitored overnight. And I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I hate staying in hospital overnight at the best of times. I didn't have anything with me. We didn't have the petrol money to come back home and then go back up there again. And I couldn't be doing with that palaver. So I said, if my contractions get any worse or if I get more concerned with the movements or anything, I'll come back. Because I refused to stay the night, they asked me to come back this morning to be monitored again. So I went home, pain stopped, I felt a couple more movements last night and I just went to bed. Woke up this morning and she's wriggling round like God knows what. I can feel everything again, being kicked in the ribs constantly. So I don't know what happened yesterday, it must have just been an off day. But I went in, I got monitored, constant movements being felt and everything, but they did mention last night that because I was refusing to stay, that they would try and get me a scan for today. So whilst I was there, I mentioned it to the midwife and she chased it up and everything, but because of Maggie finishing nursery I had to leave. I couldn't wait around, but she just phoned me actually, and they've managed to book me in another growth scan next week, so that will be my last scan. I will be 36 weeks pregnant then. I've got 4 weeks left today until I have my cesarean. That's crazy. Just got back from the hospital, had my final growth scan, and she's grown again. She's now above 50th centile. She's weighing around 6.8 pounds, and I've got 3 weeks left until I have her. She, her head's really down low, but she was like this. Both hands are on the face like that, covering the face up. I just signed the paperwork for the cesarean section, which makes it all real. But there are a few things that they've told me about. So I'm booked in for the 7th of April. My pre-op is the day before on the 6th, and I've got to have a COVID swab done on the 4th. Because of the reduced movements that I've been having, they want me to come in next Wednesday and the Wednesday after to day assessment unit just to have my movements checked, because some days they're really good, like she won't stop moving, and other days I feel maybe 1 or 2. So they said that although my section is planned for the 7th, if at any point her movements are reduced again quite significantly and it's not seen on a monitor, because on a monitor it comes up on there if like baby movements have been picked up by the monitor but not by the mother. If there's no movements on the monitor, they will take me for a cesarean there and then. So I could possibly have her next Wednesday or the Wednesday after, which would be the 24th of March or the 31st of March. So that's was a bit of a shock. But they also said that if in between then I feel reduced movements or anything, I've got to go in and get checked straight away, because at this far gone they take reduced movements very seriously. If at any point in between then I feel any reduced movements, I've got to go in and get checked straight away. And again, if there's no movement detected, I will have a cesarean there and then. Well, on that day anyway. So basically, any time from now to the next 3 weeks, I will be having her. So I need to make sure everything is ready. 21 days at most. Flip me. I did go to day assessment unit for that first Wednesday. Whilst I was there, I had reduced movement, didn't feel anything, machine didn't pick up anything, and then I started having very sharp pains down below, very often. So the midwife down there rushed me up to triage, where they monitored me again. They gave me codeine and buscopan to try and ease the pain of the they weren't really contraction pains, they were like shooting stabby pains on the opposite side of my cervix. And once they gave me the painkillers, the pain didn't really stop, it just kind of eased off a little bit, or I got used to it because I'm used to having codeine and stuff anyway. Long story short, I ended up having a bit of a falling out with the doctor. Came home even though I still hadn't felt any movements because the doctor never actually checked. When I got home, I had some food and stuff, and luckily she started moving again. Because of the reduced movements, I'd had a phone call from the scan department and they'd booked me in for a scan, which they never told me about, for the same day. So I had to go back in the same day and have a scan just to check the water around her and to make sure the placenta was still in place and all that jazz. Which it was, everything was fine. After I had that scan, I had to get day assessment unit to review it, and it was the same woman actually who I saw in the morning. Told her what had happened with the doctor and everything, and she basically just cancelled the appointment for the following Wednesday and just said to come in whenever I feel any reduced movement, and not to just come in on the Wednesday in case everything's fine. It's just a wasted journey. To be honest, all the movements have been fine ever since. She's been non-stop wriggling again. I had my pre-op a couple of days ago, so I had a meeting with the anaesthetist. I've got to have a COVID swab done and blood test done tomorrow, and then I'll be having her on Wednesday. I have been going around and just sorting out all the last bits and everything. So her bed is sorted up here. She'll be sleeping in here next to our heads here. Moses' basket downstairs is all set up ready as well. Everything's on the changing table, and all the clothes and all bits and everything for her in the kids' room is all ready as well. Thanks for watching our videos and our journey through this crazy pregnancy again, and we'll catch you on the next video where you get to meet our new daughter.
Well, possibly soon.
No, don't do that now. Bye guys.
Bye.